The Walt Disney Archives has selected an array of art, props, and costumes featured in classic animations such as Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and The Jungle Book, as well as more recent live-action productions like Cruella and Beauty and the Beast. More than 250 items are on display at Disney 100, the exhibition, which begins with an introduction to animator and producer Walt Disney and his character Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, said to be a prototype for Mickey Mouse.
We at the Walt Disney Archives are the keepers and the caretakers of Disney history. And so we were given the task of creating this special exhibit for the 100th. And I think what's interesting about this exhibit, there's a lot to look at. There's a lot of really fun interactivity and projections and media and things like that. But there are also some very, very special artifacts and things from our collection. And a lot of deep storytelling in this exhibit. You can come in and just see the fun things that are in cases and enjoy the photo opportunities, but there's also interactives there. You can take a really deep dive into Disney history.
Throughout the exhibition's 10 galleries, visitors can look at props including the carousel horse used by Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins to production models of characters Lumiere and Cogsworth from the live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast. Also featured are sketches and interactive stations and items from Marvel, Pixar, and the Star Wars films, now part of the Disney conglomerate.
So there's 10 galleries in this exhibition. Begins with a introductory, this is who Walt Disney was and this is his early years, coming all the way up to what's going on and what we're going to see in the future of Disney in the next 100 years. And so in between, there's between those 2 points, there's 9 galleries that tell you about Walt's philosophies, how he made films, and how we followed in his footsteps ever since.
Animator and director Eric Goldberg has worked on various Disney characters, with the first being the genie in 1992 animation Aladdin.
Most people's first experience of being in a movie theater is usually a Disney movie, and that connects us all in a huge, huge way. And also, animation has a shelf life. Bambi doesn't wear, fashions from the 1970s, so, it doesn't date that way, and these characters can remain true and universal for decades.
Brett Ewan, who has voiced the character of Mickey Mouse since 2009, was also present at the exhibition.
But really, every day I wake up, and if I have a recording session, I go, ah! And if I can do that, then I know that Mickey's there. Because he lies in kind of a middle falsetto, if let's see, well, here's Mickey, hiya, pal. If I go too low, hiya, pal, that's not quite Mickey. If you go too high, hiya, pal, not too quite Mickey, so you have to get right in that middle range. I always try to reference what Walt did and how Walt sounded, so oftentimes I'll listen back to some old stuff that he did and try to emulate that. One of my favorite lines is from a cartoon called The Pointer, where Mickey's out hunting and he encounters this bear behind him, and you see Mickey kind of acknowledge his own celebrity, which I think was interesting in the moment. But he turns to this bear and he says, I'm Mickey, I'm Mickey Mouse. I hope you've heard of me, I hope. And I just think it's the cutest thing. So I kind of reference old stuff all the time and practice that way and just kind of keep it sounding right, I guess.
The exhibition at London's Excel, of which another version will open in Chicago next month, runs as the Walt Disney Company marks 100 years since its founding, considered to be when Walt and his brother Roy Disney signed a contract with New York cartoon distributor Margaret Winkler on October 16, 1923. The Disney exhibition in London will be held until the end of January 2024.